Hello, my name is Sean, and I was going to make a video on how to use a spreadsheet that I created last week, but I decided that it's going to be probably more informative if I show how to make the spreadsheet to begin with. This will be a spreadsheet for budgeting, creating a budget, or just playing with numbers and what is it, accounting, basic home accounting type stuff. So I'm going to start with the plan. You need a plan when you do any kind of budgeting. So do this, call it the plan. And let's do income, because you need income to have a budget. So now we're down to line 3, and let's put in some actual numbers. Let's do a monthly. So 4 week, maybe 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that'll make this the total. Put a line in here. Oh yes, I'm using software called LibreOffice. It's free software, open source, works just like Microsoft Excel. Some minor differences, but the functions are basically the same, and the uses are the same as well. Okay, so we come over here to line style. We want a single solid line. We want this on the bottom. For here, we'll put one on the top. Okay, so we have our income. And let's see. We're just going to say, what do I want to do? There we go. Put the wrong key in there. We'll call it a 5-week month. Then we'll say that's the income, 5 weekly paychecks. Now, to total this, one of my favorite, most used functions is this one right here, the sum function. I'll sometimes call it auto sum, but it's basically it just adds everything in this box right here. So if I were to expand it out to here, it would add everything in this area. Or if we put it right here, this is all we need for this. And so there, it updates in real time. So if we change this to there, there, you can see it automatically adds as soon as you hit enter. Now, okay, so now we have our planned income. This, if you're on a salary, that's what it is. If you work hourly, then this could change, but this is, let's call this the average. Now, let's come over here. Expenses. Now, did I spell that right? Let's do spell check. Yes. Yes. Okay, I spelled it right. Spell check is a wonderful thing. Now here I'm not going to do numbers, I'm going to do categories. So home, auto, let's see, food, that's a good one. Fun, another good category, and let's do savings. Yes, there we go. Now these kind of blend together, so in order to make this look more legible, let's push Control and scroll mouse wheel in, make it bigger. Now let's click this right here. This selects the entire vertical column, and we're going to center these. We can center align left, align right, or we can center it. This is just to make it look easier or more clear, I guess. Do the same thing with these two. The numbers, I like them aligned to the left, to the right, so I'm going to leave those the way they are. Now again, this is our plan. So let's say we're going to plan on rent of let's say $1,200 a month. Auto, let's do 120. Actually, just make that 150. Food, 120 sounds good. fun. Let's say we do one. Let's assume one movie and one dinner night. So call it 90. Why not? And savings. How much do we want to put into savings? Now I'm going to do a percentage here just to show how to do it. Let's say I want to do 10% into savings, 10% of my income. So I'll put this box right here. I'll push equal on the keyboard to this times 0.1. That will give me 10%. Now that's 200. Now to show this will also update in real time, do that. Change it back to 400. There we go. So since this changes this, it will then change this. And let's find out what my 5-minute budget comes out to. Auto or hit sum. We'll add up all these. Enter. And oh, that's a nice simple number that is less than this. And we'll do another formula that combines these two. Actually, let's do that right now. Just for simplicity or clarification, or just so it looks visually appealing, this is going to equal this. Okay. So now, and let's see here, do this. Just to show that these two are the same, we're going to do, there we go. So see, these two are connected. Now this, it's already the sum of all of these. If we tell it we want to do this sum again, it's going to try and collect this, which is going to give us the wrong number. That's going to add everything together, and that's not what we want. So sum, we're going to change this to there. And now we're going to do this block right here, minus the sum of all these, and there, 240. Now, if we don't want to put it here, if we want to see what the numbers are before, like what the total is before we subtract it, we can just come here, delete those. Okay, so we want to figure out this after this. So we'll put it right here, why not? Okay, so this is going to be equal to this minus this. Oh, wrong order. Let's just type it in, C2 minus, what was this one, C8. Did I type it in right? Yes. So you can type or you can click, whatever works for you. And this one will be, we'll leave it the way it is. So we'll call this surplus. Or let's call it extra savings. And let's see, it's probably a space too wide. Wants me to expand this and do that. There we go. And then this could be just slush, whatever you need it for whatever. Now this is really simplistic. Let's itemize a few of these things. I'm going to skip a column. We're going to come right here and let's do home. No, let's call it home. So what are some of the things that we have on our home budget? Let's start with rent or mortgage or whatever, depending on your situation. Utilities. Let's see, that can be gas, electric, garbage if you have to pay for the trash pickup. What else? Just whatever. Let's do general maintenance. So call it maintenance. That's not going to be spelled properly. I'm not even going to try and spell maintenance. I can never spell it right for some reason. So rent, utilities, other maintenance. This could be like painting, or heck, that could be cleaning supplies. Whatever you want to do. Let's do another one for cleaning. Why not? Let's do that. Why not? Other Yeah, so there we go. Let's call this, and because I like them centered, there. Now let's itemize this. We're going to call, let's say 900 rent. Utilities, these are very variable. Let's see, let's call it 100. That could be lower height for whatever you need. Let's do 20 for, oh no, we'll do 20 for cleaning. Other maintenance, call it 40. 20 for that. Other, let's do 10. And let's sum this up. No. Let's bring this up a little bit. There. That's a little closer to what I had over here. Now let's say these are going to be something you want to change, and you want this to equal this. So we do this. There's the equal sign, which overwrites whatever else is already there. And then this. There we go. Now just for the color, again, I'm going to do a little bit more with the color here. That sounds like a green. And this right here, this fills the background color, and if you want a different color for the numbers and the letters and whatnot, you choose this. So we'll do like that. Comes out red. Make it blue. Or automatic, we'll do a black. Now, and just so you can see this, if your rent changes or your utilities, let's say during the summer you wind up running the air conditioner a bit. So let's take that up to there. And now this is going to change to reflect that. And that is a nice, easy way to do stuff. Let's do another one for auto. And this can be gas, lease. Alright. Oh, no, cancel. Oh, insurance. There we go. That's a better one. Let's see. What is it when you're paying off your car? I don't want to call it a mortgage. That's for a home. I don't want to call it a lease because that's when you expect to return the car. No, I'll just call it payment. Car payment. Maintenance. Center all these. Gas, let's do there. Insurance, let's do there. Payment, this could vary widely. I own my vehicle. I don't have any payments left. Maintenance, though, that can sometimes, on a monthly basis, not so much, but when you get to quarterly and semi-annually and annually, it goes up. This, and oh, we got some. There. Take this. Let's highlight all of these. We'll make auto orange. That a little darker than I wanted, but select all these squares. There. To select a group of squares, you can click and just drag and it'll highlight those. If you push Control, and then you can now select everything you click on, or you can click and drag. You can also deselect when you push Control. So that's how I'm doing that. Now again, we want this to equal this. Enter. Let's see. All right. Now, I think this kind of demonstrates the basics of how to create the spreadsheet. If we wanted to, let's see, I'm just going to make a copy of this. So Control C, and come down here and Control V. There we go. No, I left out this one. Control C, and there, Control V. The nice thing about the copy and paste is all the formulas change based on, here, let's zoom out a little bit. They change based on where they're pasted to. So the top square, one of the squares becomes a reference point. I think it's this top one. So when you then paste, everything is referenced off of this top square. So this first formula would be the top square plus 7, because I started it here. And so we have A3 to A7. It just takes this and assumes that this A2 is the top square. A2 is now A12, so A13 becomes the first to A17. It copies all the formulas and adjusts them appropriately. So now we can change all this. Let's say there. Let's say it was a short week here. Let's say overtime galore there, and a standard week there. And let's say this week didn't happen because it was a 4-week month instead of a 5-week. You can see that this changed, and that allowed this to change. Rent was the same. Utilities, let's say because it was a short month, this went down to 130. Say you didn't do any home maintenance, well, put that money into savings instead, so that when you do have a big maintenance project, you've got some money stashed aside just for that. Or, just put it into savings or whatever. Cleaning, let's say you went to Costco and you bought all the cleaning supplies you need for the next 6 months, so that goes away. You notice that these are changing, but nothing up here is changing. That's because these formula up here do not reference anything down here. I hope that makes sense. So, anyway, leave it alone. Leave these alone. Now, it looks like I'm 37 in the hole because probably this short week and then this only a 4-week month instead of a 5. This is where people on salary really have a benefit because it's consistent. But other things change too. Utilities, up here I had it at 150, here I put it at 130. Let's make that its own column. And let's see, gas, electric, water, whatever. And here, this is, let's see here. Take these and go through here. This we're going to sum. Now this is going to be a little odd because we don't have, scroll over a little bit. There's nothing in this column for this box to automatically think about. So when I do this, it goes and grabs the next nearest number. We don't want that. Let's drag it over here and then resize it to what we need. Let's see, gas. I don't know what gas costs. Electric, that's what I use. Water, landlord pays it. Garbage, landlord. Other stuff. I don't know what other utilities would there be. I don't know. We'll just throw in at $50 for whatever reason. And let's see, put this back below it. Back below. There we go. Now this we want to equal, we actually want this to equal this. Enter. This will be an actual, so we can actually do this. I'm going to make this blue. There we go. Now, the reason I did this is because utilities are something you really have a lot of control over. That and food. Food budget you have a lot of control over. Do you buy the expensive stuff? Do you buy the cheap stuff? And you can also separate some of the food into fun, because if I go and buy, I don't know, some candy bars or something, that should really fall under the fun category because I don't need it to survive. I don't need it to eat, but I want it. It's fun. So this should be, change this to wants instead of fun. So things I need, it's stuff I want. Now then, this comes over, let's bring this up to 40. There we go, that brings that back up to the 130, which changes this. Oh, did I do, yep, these equal. Let's check the formula, I click on here, it shows me what's highlighted there, so that's going meshing properly. And this is equaling that. You see the box showing up right here. Yes. Okay. Enter. So when I click on here, I click on this to tell the system that I want to know what this is, and it highlights it right here. I push Control, my mouse does a little blink, and unfortunately it de-highlights. That's not what I wanted to do. Those extra things. There we go. Still negative 37. Why is this not changing? Yep, it's subtracting these two. The red from the blue, or the blue from the red. Oh, I got the first time red from the blue. Well, let's play with some more numbers and see if we can change that. Let's bring this down to 50. There weren't any good movies out. We only went to dinner once. Now I've got $3 surplus. Oh, something else that changed that I completely forgot. This. Because it's 10% of this, when this changes, this changed. So instead of the 10% here, planned at 200, here it was only 177. Remembering all the formulas that you put in the spreadsheet can be tricky. That's part of why I highlighted all these, just so, oh, this one is this right here. Okay, I don't type anything here because it's going to show up here. Auto, same thing with the orange to here, the green to here, just so I know not to type into those squares. I believe there's a tool that lets you lock cells. Maybe it's under data. I could spend probably an hour looking for it and trying to find it to show you how it works, but you get the idea. You can take some more advanced classes. I know they're on YouTube, where you can find out more information about how all this stuff works and what goes where. But for now, we'll just come up here, save as, video. Video spreadsheet. Now this is ODF. That is that's the LibreOffice default format. I can save it under all these other different ones. Yeah, including Microsoft Excel formats. Anything other than the normal one can cause compatibility. You may lose some functions. Everything I've done in this video is a basic function, so you shouldn't lose that anywhere. Office Open, I think that's OpenOffice. I think that's another freebie software you can get. But I just go with this since I use this software. Save. And now it's saved. It's probably a good idea to save a copy of it. We'll just see, file, save as. We'll call it budget master. And then anytime you need to do a new budget, let's say you want to do one for each month, you open budget master, which is already open, and then you let's see, come back, save as, and instead of budget master, we'll do, let's see, call it the October budget. That's the next one. I save. There you go. Now you can come in, file, open. So we have October, budget, video, more budget, all kinds of other stuff that I have been saving. Anyway, that is my video on how to make the spreadsheet. I hope this is helpful. I hope I didn't talk for too long. If you have any comments, please let me know. Either ask me directly if you know who I am, or just leave them down in the comments, and sooner or later I will get around to that. Have a nice day.